Test, 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 test.
Test, test. Call this meeting of the Board of Supervisors of December 3rd, 2013 to order. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Bronson? Supervisor Carroll?
Here.
Supervisor Elias?
Presente.
Supervisor Miller?
Here.
Chairman Valadez?
Present.
Let the record show all members are present.
Unfortunately, our pastor can't be here today, so we'll just go ahead and do a moment of silence, which will be followed
Mr.
by...
Chairman? You know,
Supervisor
while
Elias.
we're doing that, I was going to say that we should, if I could have a moment of personal privilege,
Please proceed.
I'd ask that our moment of silence that we're about to observe be dedicated to the memory of Tom Chandler, who was a philanthropist here in town and a renowned lawyer, former member of the Board of Regents, a person who started many organizations here in town and really had a profound impact on the people who live here in southern Arizona. And his family continues to. One of his daughters is a retired Superior Court judge, as well as influencing a lot of folks in a lot of different ways, the whole family. So if we could observe a moment of silence for Mr. Chandler and his family that grieves his loss today.
Mr. Chairman,
Supervisor Carroll.
I'd also like to add my condolences to the family of Mr. Tom Chandler. Certainly read that heroic biography in this morning's paper and knew him to be a man who, when I first started, would represent clients here at the Board of Supervisors, and he was a fine person, and it's with great loss to this community that we celebrate his life today. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Mr. Chairman, just an announcement that the Pima County Tucson Women's Commission will be hosting a free seminar on how to avoid scams, fraud, and identity theft Thursday, December 12th from 10 a.m. to noon at the Oro Valley Library. So if anyone is interested in attending that, they can contact my office for more information. Thank you.
All right, we'll go ahead and observe the moment of silence, and then we'll be followed by a Pledge of Allegiance by Supervisor Bronson. Everyone, please stand. Supervisor Bronson. Thank you. And we move to pause for pause, and we have Officer Bowden with Mama, who is a brown and white Sonoran purebred.
Good morning. This is Mama. Mama is about 2 years old, been with us since the beginning of October. She has had a litter of pups. We don't have the pups, those are easy to place. She's waiting for a home though, and she's been waiting long enough. Her adoption fee has been waived, so there's just the $15 licensing fee, and that will include for her to be microchipped, her first round of shots, including the rabies, and for her to be spayed so that she is done having puppies and you won't have to deal with placing any more puppies. Like so many of our dogs, we have a ton of them down there waiting to get out and into homes. Many of them have been there as long as her. There's a few that have been there a little longer. Princess from last time is still waiting, so we're still hoping to get her out of there before this next round of holidays comes and goes. But please, if you're interested in a cat or a dog, we have lots to go around. It's a wonderful time of year to welcome a new member into your family if you've got the means to provide for an animal and take care of it responsibly. And again, as always, I like to remind, please, 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 most of you folks are probably responsible enough to spay and neuter your pets, but please help spread the word. Anybody and everybody you come across that has pets, bring up the conversation in as nice and tactful of ways as possible. We'd like to encourage to more people to be more educated about responsible pet ownership, and part of that is making sure that you're not producing more and more pets that you don't have room for. So thank you for your time, and thank you so much, as always, for letting us bring the animals down here. Oh, and our progress with our new structure for the animals is going smoothly. Several of us officers went out and checked their work, and it looked pretty good. So we're well on our way, and we should be up and running with that very, very soon. So thank you all again for that.
Thank you, Officer Bowden. Mr. Chairman,
Supervisor Carroll.
I'm not shy about it. I always encourage people to spay their pets and weird relatives as soon as possible.
Yes.
Supervisor Elias.
Wow. Well done.
Supervisor made me blush. It's okay.
All right, we don't have any changes to the agenda. We have one executive session item. Is there anyone here who would like to address the board on a executive session item only? Hearing none, Chair will entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Motion and a second to go into executive session. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. We will return to the sound of the gavel. Call this meeting back to order. Council.
Yes, yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Executive session item 6 on the regular agenda concerns the recovery of costs for property damage to 3 county-owned vehicles, which were involved in 3 separate car accidents. The county attorney seeks authority from the board to file 3 lawsuits. The first lawsuit will be against Sylvia Gonzalez and Terry Apologetegui. The second will be against Alyssa Stonger. The third lawsuit will be against Shirok Sulat and K&L Enterprises. The county attorney's office also seeks authority to proceed with these lawsuits as directed in executive session.
Move the county attorney and finance recommendation to
Second.
proceed.
Motion and a second to approve the county attorney and finance department's recommendation. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Board of Supervisors, sitting as other boards. Item Flood Control District Board, items 7 and 8.
Mr. Chairman.
Supervisor Carroll.
Sitting as Flood Control District Board, I move item 7, the contract with CMG Drainage Engineering, amendment number 1, and Sky Island Alliance to provide a sub-recipient landowner agreement for the Rancho Fundoshi Spring Restoration Project.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve item number 7 and 8 under Flood Control District Board. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Moving to Board of Supervisors sitting in regular session, consent calendar. Is there anyone here who would like to address the board on a consent calendar item only? Seeing none, what's the will of the board?
Mr. Chairman, if there's no one that wishes to address us, and if there's no board member who has questions about any item, I will move consent in its entirety.
Second.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to pull item number 1 for separate discussion and vote.
All right, there's a motion to pull item number 1 for a separate discussion and vote. Is there a second?
I'll withdraw my motion.
Okay.
You withdrew your motion, Chair?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Supervisor Miller, would you please state your motion so that we can act on that motion?
I'd move to pull item number 1 from the consent calendar for a separate discussion and vote.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to pull item number 1 from the consent calendar for a separate discussion and vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Supervisor Miller.
Mainly, this is some questions that I have. Excuse me, on the original contract agreement, it says that the total amount was $1,572,000. But my understanding is from reading the details of the contract, it's actually per year. Is that correct? That contract was $1,572,000 a year, because it talks about base rent to be paid annually in the amount of $134,000, equal monthly installments. And so there was some confusion there regarding what this contract actually is. It's a 5-year contract, and if it's 5 years, base rent to be paid to landlord annually in the amount of $134,000 in equal monthly installments. That this original contract, it was actually $8 million. Is that correct, or?
Mr. Sabella?
Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Miller, I don't have the lease in front of me, but I believe that the amount approved is over the life of the lease itself, over the 5-year period.
So it's $1,500,000 per year. Okay, I just wanted to clarify that because I wasn't clear on that. And then the other question I had on this amounts to about $29.81 per square foot per year. The other question I had is, could you explain what exactly is going on here, because we couldn't get clarification on what this item is. I really don't understand it.
Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Miller, the previous owner of the center has sold his interest or sold the mortgage to another bank, and the bank has simply stepped in and said that they are in a primary position and we are in the subordinate position, which is fairly routine. We were in that position with the previous owner. We're just reinforcing that with the new owner, to which the owner has a lease with, or has a loan with, I'm sorry.
Okay, and there was some wording in there that Pima County pays, that what Pima County pays to cash property is inferior to the original loan amount. What does that mean?
I
Is
don't,
Subordinated.
Just the fact that it's subordinate?
Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
We are in a secondary position.
And we're signing a statement saying we're not being overcharged due to this refinancing. So we're paying the
Correct.
same amount, so that's what they're just trying to clarify, is that our lease amount is not changing. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Okay, all right. I just didn't understand that, so I want a clarification. In that case, I will move to approve consent calendar item number 1.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve item number 1 on the consent calendar. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Is Chair on the motion on the remainder of consent?
I'll move the remainder of consent in its entirety.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the remainder of consent in its entirety. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. I'm going to go ahead and move to item number 24. Development Services, item number 24, Type 2 Conditional Use Permit, P21-13-008, Mule Power Farms, LLC. Staff report.
Mr. Chairman, as the staff gets ready to sit down, I want to thank Tom D. Tom, no one knows your last name in AIA circles, but you're very famous, and most people know that you're an umpire in football and local high school, and we're very happy that you were attending Friday night, pardon me, for the state championships, and we're glad to see you there in your official capacity. You even had a jacket on, and I want to know where that jacket is today.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor Carroll. Yeah, we did have to wear a full suit to that.
Well, we're proud of you. Thank you very much for being
Thank you so
there.
much.
I understand Tom's the last honest man.
For the staff report for this, this is a Type 2 conditional use permit for a community stable in the SR zone out in the Tanque Verde Valley area. The hearing administrator held his public hearing on May 8th. At the public hearing, no one appeared to address any concerns or voice protests. We did receive 25 letters of support, which are included in the board packet. There is no new construction associated with this conditional use permit. The structures were built over 10 years ago. They will be required to be updated for permitting purposes. Some of them were not permitted. That will all be determined during the permit process. This is a non-commercial stable. It's a community stable, which is operated for the exclusive use of members of a nonprofit community organization, which is different than a commercial stable where any amount of horses can be stabled for profit. That concludes my staff report, and I can answer any questions that the board may have.
Are there any
And the
questions?
applicants are here to address the board as needed.
Mr. Chairman.
Supervisor Carroll.
Mr. Chairman, if there's no one to speak against this item today, I don't know if it's possible to just go ahead and pass through their presentation. I've heard it already. I've talked to the hearing administrator. Certainly know the property.
Are there any objections of passing the presentation from the board? Okay. I do have one speaker, but he is in support.
Thank you. In that case, Mr. Chairman, since there's no one here to speak out against this item, I'd like to move to close the public hearing and move the Type 2 conditional use permit for P21-13-008 for Mule Power Farms LLC on North Conestoga Avenue. Approval subject to standard and special conditions as the hearing administrator recommended.
Second.
Motion and a second to close public hearing and approve item number 24, P21-13-008, subject to standard and special conditions. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it.
Thank you. And know that if you're ever rescued, most likely the Southern Arizona Rescue came from Mule Power Farm. So thank you, gentlemen, for being here today, and you can go ahead and exit. Thank you for being here.
All right, moving to County Administrator, item 11 and 12. What's the will of the board?
Mr. Chairman,
Supervisor
I
Miller.
have some questions on item number 11.
Please proceed.
I just wanted to ask the question. I know we write these off because it's more cost effective to write them off than chasing individuals down to try to collect these monies. But are people allowed to take books out again that are are fined and the collections are written off, are the same individuals allowed to continue to take these books out, or are they banned from taking any future books from the library?
Ms. Zuckerberg.
Yes, Mr. Chairman and Supervisor Miller, generally their library card privileges are suspended and removed, and typically what we find, a lot of these fines are people who have just moved out of the region,
They
and
just-
obviously we can't collect from them.
Thank you. In that case, I move
Well,
item...
before we go on, Mr. Huckleberry, that's a good question. You know, I'd like to know the definitive answer to that. If in fact people's right to check out books is reinstated once we write off those fines, because I think they should be able to continue using our libraries. I don't have a problem with that. These kind of errors happen, and so I'd like to know what our library policy is.
Okay. Supervisor Miller. I think he's going to prepare that in
Okay,
a follow-up
okay.
memorandum.
All right, I'd move that we approve item number 11, quarterly report on collections.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve item number 11. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Moving on to item 12.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move the item.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve item number 12. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Finance and Risk Management, item number 12, General Obligation Bonds, Resolution number 2013-107.
Item number 13?
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, did I? Okay, 13.
So that's okay. Mr. Chairman, my question on this one is, we're issuing an additional amount of bonds, and we've already, it appears we've already spent the $92,000 that was originally approved by the voters. 92 million, I'm sorry. And this is an additional amount.
Mr. Huckleberry.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Miller, this is mostly the remaining bonds that are outstanding from the 2004 authorization. And so this pretty much exhausts the county's authorization to issue general obligation debt and it's really designed to complete the projects that are remaining in the 2004 program.
So this is not moving any monies around. These are being applied to the projects that they were originally intended for. Okay, thank you. In that case, I move item number 13, general obligation bonds, resolution number 2013-107 to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve item number 13, General Obligation Bonds and Resolution number 2013-107. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Moving on to item number 14, Street and Highway Revenue Bonds and Resolution number 2013-108.
Mr. Chairman, again, some questions on this one. Are these, there's two items listed on there. It's $60 million for various projects, and then I understand the other $25 million is going to go out to pay off existing debt. But we have two items, neighborhood transportation improvements and safety improvements. They're identified as various. Where will these bonds be going? Which are they specified for specific repairs in all of the neighborhoods, or are they going to just specific districts?
Mr.
Huckleberry.
Mr. Chairman and Supervisor Miller, with regard to neighborhood transportation improvements, I'll let Priscilla answer that. With regard to the safety improvements, those are basically ranked and on an accident experience basis and what can in fact be accomplished, and they typically fall throughout the county and the various districts, and that's why we identified them as various. And many of them, it just have not been, we'll say, programmed yet, because it's simply an allocation of money that will be spent for transportation traffic safety improvements.
Okay,
based
again,
on based on a kind of an experience basis, an accident rate experience.
and these aren't moving any monies around for other projects. These were voted on and approved by the voters.
That's correct.
Okay, all right, thank you. In that case, I will move to approve agenda item number 14, street and highway revenue bonds, resolution number 2013-108.
Second.
Motion and second to approve item number 14, street and highway revenue bonds, and resolution number 2013-108. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Moving on to item number 15, certificates of participation in resolution number 2013-109. What's the will of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that item and resolution 2013-109.
Mr. Chairman,
Supervisor Miller.
my objection to this is the fact that the recorder and the assessor, I know that's what these certificates of participation are being used for, is to move them over to the courthouse. I would feel better if we would find a tenant to lease this area at the market rate and do their own tenant improvements versus Pima County investing more money into the courthouse. And the other question I had, are any of these monies being used for anything other than the movement of the assessor and the recorder's office?
Mr. Huckleberry.
Yes, Mr. Chairman and Supervisor Miller, this is and it's $58 million as the upset number. We probably believe it'll be closer to $55 million. It's for all of the remaining internal tenant improvements, including for the justice courts within the building, as well as the parking garage that's necessary to support the building and its function.
Thank you.
Any further questions? If not, the motion before us is on the approval of item number 15 and resolution number 2013-109. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, please signify by saying nay.
No.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Certainly. Roll call.
Supervisor Bronson? Supervisor Carroll? Supervisor Elias?
Aye.
Supervisor Miller?
No.
Chairman Valadez?
Aye. By your vote, 3-2, motion carries. Moving on to item number 16 and resolution number 2013-110.
Mr. Chairman, I will move that item.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve item number 16 and resolution number 2013-110. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Moving on to item number 17, sewer system revenue obligation bonds and resolution number 2013-111.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move the item.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve item number 17 and resolution number 2013-111. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Moving to regional wastewater reclamation, item number 18. What's the will of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move the item as well as item 19, transportation acceptance of project roadway for maintenance. So I'll move the pre-settlement agreement 18 and 19, acceptance of project roadway for maintenance.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve items 18 and 19. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Hearings. Board of Supervisors, unfinished business, appeal of review officer's decision. Staff report.
Mr. Chairman.
I was going to go ahead and ask for a staff report. I think we've already heard one, have we not?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Many
Carroll.
times. Mr. Chairman, I really appreciate Mr. Burke's very capable assistance during the process of the very first in District 4 that I was aware of on the appeal of the hearing of the review officer's decision. This has been a lengthy ordeal, and we have had to delay this several times. Although the appellant has complied, to our knowledge, with every single aspect of the task at hand, there is still a matter of recordation that's yet to be achieved, I believe. The taxes have been paid but not recorded with the treasurer or the assessor. Is this correct, Mr. Burke?
Mr. Burke.
In your opinion?
Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Carroll, it's my understanding that Mr. Manley has complied with, has gone through all the steps, and it just has to be finalized through the recording process, yes.
Yes, sir. Well, I really appreciate all the assistance from not only Mr. Burke but Mr. Staples' office, and in doing that, they've allowed me to have a front row seat and be trained in case this happens again in District 4. So I'd like to go ahead and, with the indulgence of this board, ask for one more continuance until we can make sure that it's proper according to the assessor, who, without being present today, I can't assure that. What's the next meeting in December, to the clerk?
December 10th.
May we move it to December 10th, Mr. Chairman?
Is that part of your motion?
That would be.
Move to continue till September 10th.
That's what I'd like to do, is to move the appeal of the review officer's decision one more time until December 10th, 2013.
I believe-
All right. Motion and a second to
Keep the public hearing open.
to keep the public hearing open and continue item number 20 to the meeting of December 10th, 2013.
Thank you.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Franchise license permits items 21 and 22.
Mr. Chairman, if there's no one in the audience, this is a public hearing. If there's no one in the audience who wishes to address us on items 21 and 22, I move to close public hearing and approve those items.
Second.
Motion before us is closing the public hearing and approving item number 21 and 22. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Moving on to item number 23, unfinished business fee schedule, ordinance number 2013-44.
Mr. Chairman, if there's no one in the audience who wishes to address us on this item, fee schedule for Forensic Science Center, I move to close public hearing and approve item 23 and ordinance 2013-44.
Second.
Motion and a second to close the public hearing and approve item number 23, fee schedule, and ordinance number 2013-44. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Moving on to item number 25 and ordinance number 2013-59.
Mr. Chairman, if there's no one in the audience who wishes to address us on this item, I move to approve item 25, close public hearing, and approve item 25 and ordinance number 2013-59.
Second.
Motion and a second to close the public hearing and approve item number 25 and ordinance number 2013-59. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Moving to the addendum agenda. Addendum 1, County Administrator, item number 1. What's the will of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that item, and I appreciate Mr. Huckleberry's, the county administrator's diligence on this. These relate to our major employer, and certainly we need to be part of the solution.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve item number 1 on the addendum 1 agenda. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. We move to the call to the public. I do have 2 speaker cards. I'm going to ask you to please come up, identify yourself for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes. First, let me ask Mary Murphy. Please come up, Ms. Murphy. Identify yourself for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Good morning. Good morning. I kind of had my usual little song and dance planned. This past weekend, Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, did you guys all have a holiday then? Okay. I left off with 1963. Now we're into 1964 in Green Valley. The houses, including mine, are under construction. It was the wettest monsoon on record. I don't know how many structures were under construction. The day after Thanksgiving, everything under construction in Green Valley was falsified by building inspectors. That includes a wall that is causing a drainage problem on my property and the surrounding property. Inspections were falsified. That was 49 years ago, 50 years ago next year. The drainage problems, the things that have been going on with flood control, everything around drainage way number 8, downstream from me, the public easement on the golf course, upstream, the I-19 culvert, damage to the mall, everything else that's going on. Your CMG engineering, this is what got been here on the back of my neck up. I heard them with another flood control thing on your agenda. This is their report on my drainage way number 8. Everybody's gotten it. I'd like to give one to Mr. Huckleby. I gave his pal John Bernal one. I'll give him one. I don't think people are used to having engineering reports come back, having been corrected by a local I have no confidence in this drainage company. This was falsified, fraudulent. No one is going to tell me that this drainage way and everything around it is 100% ready for a 100-year flood event. But CMG Engineering seems to think that they're going to get this one by. There are 25-some drainage ways in Green Valley that are under, this investigation is in progress. The results are not out. I have no confidence in CMG Engineering or the flood control people that signed up for this. There is no local oversight of flood control in Green Valley. The Green Valley Council is asleep at the switch. There hasn't been. We have flooding. We have exposed utilities, gas lines, electric, standing water, mosquito problems, and this public drainage easement to the golf course, across the golf course. It's overseeded. I don't know that they had to get your permission to overseed a public drainage easement. CMG Engineering, they're not getting this one by me. This was their first drainage inspection. I'm told that everything's fine, everything's hunky-dory. It is not. And I am aware of drainage issues, alleys, our county, and my fairways properties. It's not going to fly. CMG Engineering, no confidence. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy. Next, I'm going to call on Mr. Keith Van Heinigen. Please come up, identify yourself for the record, sir, and you have 3 minutes.
Morning, my name is Keith Van Heinigen. I'm a Tucson resident. And someday, hopefully, you guys get your audio and visual fixed. Because until you do, nobody knows what you're saying and what you're doing. Because that's how bad it is. So anyway, how's that new county courthouse going? And you guys still fighting with the city over that? And how many millions you're going to waste? Let's face it. How much money is left in a consulting fund for the county? I mean, you could hire me, and I'm pretty cheap, and I could tell you how to save hundreds of millions, if not billions. But let's face it, I'm not a campaign contributor to most of you, or your friend, or your buddy. So I'm not going to get that money, obviously. You wouldn't like what I have to say. Most of you have been here for far too long, and that includes Mr. Chuck Huckleberry, who can't put down his little cell phone or whatever device he's scanning now. Sure, it's probably not job-related either. Mr. Huckleberry wants to raise our taxes again. How many years in a row are we going to put up with this for general incompetence? $2 billion plus in debt for the county, $2 billion plus for the city. Add in the pension problems, your deteriorated roads that this county and city have let slide for 20 years. And you wonder why people are mad at you. Well, it's a good thing there are a lot of stupid people living in Tucson because they keep voting for the same old people from the looks of it. And really, is it a competition between you and the city to see who declares bankruptcy first in 2014, 2015? Because it can't go on forever. Quite simply, it comes to this. Article 2, Section 4 of the United States Constitution. The President, Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, and other high crimes and misdemeanors. I'd say bankrupting a county, a city, an entire region of a state counts. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board or call to the public? Seeing none, this meeting stands adjourned.